Minasan konnichiwa. I'm Washio, and this is Anime, Vtubers, and Melancholy. Not all of you may know what anime, Vtubers, or Melancholy is or are. So to begin with, I'll be attempting to describe them, to give word, to give name, to give form to that which may not have it. These are all complicated, generally, topics. So don't expect any of these to be exact, deep, or inclusive definitions. It's just what I feel is a proper way to describe the things. Anyways, anime is a style of writing, at least in my opinion. One that originated from Japan and originated from, or was popularized by, a art style, but I believe it's since grown past that. It's characterized by, I'd say, a heavy use of tropes, over-exaggeration, and hyperbole. General things you wouldn't be able to do in real life, things you wouldn't be able to say, things that wouldn't happen in real life. But not things, at least not specifically, things that just can't happen in real life, like fantasy or sci-fi, but things grounded in reality that just generally don't happen. Like, for example, a crush instantly turning down or accepting your proposal to go out, or them doing either and feeling very strongly about it and showing it. But I believe that's what's charming about anime. I'll go into depth very much so in a future video, but I believe the big draw is something almost real. Something that might happen. Something that is so close to happening but just can't. That doesn't. And VTubing is very similar in that regard. It is a form of self-expression, as all art is, but it is a form of concealment. It's the practice of taking a 3D model or a 2D avatar and using it through facial rigging to make it appear as if that is you, to in effect make that reality. Of course, it isn't. I haven't seen many people out here with that colorful faces and hair designs and outfit design, but I digress. The allure of VTubing is very similar to the allure of being a faceless, or a faceless content creator at least. It has a degree of privacy to it. It can, in some ways, make you more genuine. But who knows? I'm not a VTuber myself, so I don't know. But one thing I do know about is melancholy. It's a feeling that some might have different definitions for, but it is a feeling. Maybe it's, for you, a feeling of not quite sadness, not quite happiness. A bittersweet feeling, if you would. For others, it's a feeling of emptiness. A feeling of having something and then all of a sudden not having it, or not being able to enjoy it. A feeling that maybe you've felt while completing a book, while getting close to or after the end of a video game, or book, or movie series, art piece. There's many things that can invoke melancholy. Even reality can. But I believe anime and VTubing can maybe invoke it, at least much more strongly than other things, maybe. Many a times when I've finished a manga series, anime-themed game, or even watched the final stream of a VTuber, I've felt what might be considered melancholy. For me, it was a feeling of emptiness, of, again, not being able to experience something again. A feeling of something having ended, but not necessarily in a bad way, just in a neutral way. It happened. And almost anything can evoke that feeling. But I believe anime, through hyperbole, can maybe invoke that feeling a bit more. Not just with hyperbole and over-exaggerated positive emotion can anime express itself, be defined with, but with over-exaggeration of sincerity. A false sense of someone being able to confide in you. Only in fiction, and generally in anime, can a character from a video game sit by a lake with you and open their heart to you, can pour out all of their emotions onto the main character, or maybe you. And that sincerity can also be replicated with a facade, a false reality, or maybe even a lie. With VTubers, a similar thing might be able to be accomplished. With a face that is not your own representing you on the internet, you might feel safe confiding all your deepest desires. You might feel comfortable talking about the things you wouldn't even talk about to your closest friend. In some way, the anonymity of the internet is a good thing, but that level of sincerity can make someone grow attached to a person, to a VTuber, in this case. I could go on about parasocial relationships, but that's not what this is about. This is about a VTuber called Kiryu Coco. One of the agencies, companies that managed to be one of the first to make VTubers is Hololive, a Japanese company that has managed to successfully debut, as it's called, over 7, 8, 10, I think, at this point, generations, waves, groups of VTubers, generally in groups of 3 to 5. And one of them was Generation 5 of the Hololive Japanese branch of Hololive. Kiryu Coco looked and was, for all accounts, a dragon. One in a human form, but a dragon. A fiery personality, a very vibrant personality, and more. She was one of the first idols, VTubers, to speak English at all. Before that point, mostly it was them speaking Japanese. And so, for an English audience to be able to enjoy it, a second or third party needed to be involved. Translator, which added an element of separation. But with Kiryu Coco, that level of separation wasn't always there. She could and generally did speak Japanese quite a lot, but she also spoke English, which might have helped. But it was not only her speaking English, it was a lot of other things, not the least of which was her personality, but also her content, the things she made, things she streamed. Nearly every VTuber is special in their own way. Nearly every content creator is special in their own way. But perhaps none resonated with an American audience as much as Kiryu Coco. She was very fond of memes and meme culture in general, and generally was an American. I don't remember if she legitimately is born and raised in the US, but I'd say there's a fairly good chance. Where all the others were foreign, Japanese to American viewers, in some ways Kiryu Coco was familiar. But also, she was vulgar, swearing quite a lot, doing lots of innuendos and things that generally people don't do in public but do with their friend. She acted in a very friendly way with the audience, and she shone for it. They say the brightest candles burn the fastest, and Kiryu Coco, unlike most of the other idols, Vtubers, graduated from being one, resigned, some would say, was fired, others say. Regardless, she got into one major controversy. While in one stream she was showing her viewer analytics, and she and one other streamer made the mistake, one other VTuber, made the mistake of showing a registry for Taiwan in that country list. Taiwan is not formally recognized as a country by China. It is considered part of China. As such, Hololive, which at that point had or multiple Chinese branches, suspended her and the other VTuber. But it didn't stop there. Apparently, Chinese citizens, as well as the Chinese government, don't like Taiwan to be recognized as a country. And so, internet people in China started trolling, harassing, and other nasty stuff to Kiryu Coco. I am not at this moment a content creation person. I'm not anyone who has had very much of a public appearance. I don't think I'll have any controversies, but I can't imagine what that must have felt like. But her suspension was temporary. The trolling was not. And eventually, on July 1st, 2021, she left Hololive. She gave her fans, the company, and her fellow VTubers around a 1-month warning. But that didn't stop everyone from being sad, from being melancholic about her leaving, resigning, being fired. We don't know for sure why she graduated, as it's called, but from the way I've been describing it, I believe you already know why I feel she did so, or she was. Regardless, something was lost with the graduation of Kiryu Coco. It's not that she is dead, it's not that she perhaps doesn't have other public avenues of content creation and other things, but something was lost. The dragon called Kiryu Coco is no longer with us, and maybe through all of this you've been able to feel the same thing I and many others did after that last stream ended. After the curtain closed, and the dragon known as Kiryu Coco was no more. Thank you.